Good morning, friends, and welcome to a foggy North Carolina. We are getting the last of the tulips in the signature garden today. We've got roughly about 1,200 bulbs to plant. We've already planted quite a few, about 800 of them so far, 1,200 to go. We are planting the Blue Gilet mix from our friends at Color Blends. Is going to be a gorgeous, beautiful blend of those creamy yellow, whites, purples, pinks. It is going to be an absolutely stunning display. So that is what we are doing today. It has been a labor of love getting this garden to this point so far because we had to get all of the annuals out of those center beds. Our sweet people did an amazing job getting everything cleaned up. And so today we've got all hands on deck getting the bulbs in the ground. You can see that Jerry has got the auger and is drilling the holes. We've done one bed so far, and I think we said it was 60 something holes in this bed, so we're doing 4 tulips per hole. We've got 250 bulbs to go in each bed, so you can see we have them sitting on the bench there, and they're going to go in these 4 beds that typically hold all of our annuals. The other day I went ahead, I was here, I think it was Saturday morning, and bright and early, getting some of the other bulbs in. So we're using the same blend within the entire signature garden to bring some uniformity to the garden. So on Saturday, I got the fountain planted, and I don't even know how many are in this fountain. They are very close together. Used that 9-inch auger though, and got, I think it was like 5 or 6 bulbs per hole. Came back with the mulch, so this one is all dressed up and ready to go. Don't have to do anything to that. Now we also have them in the raised beds over here when you come into the garden, so they are already planted there as well. We have got them here in front of the little lime punches, so they're going all the way down here. Have more of a concentration of them that are already planted here on the corners. And they are also planted on the front side of the flower bed as well. So there is a double staggered row of them in here. So they're here, and then Jerry and Cece also planted going straight down the middle. We have the Globe Master Alliums. So they are spaced roughly a foot apart, and they are going to go down through there. Now, whenever I do tulips, I like to do like the early mid bloomers because we are in North Carolina, zone 8A. And I want to get my tulips to bloom and get them to be done because I need to turn around and put in my summer annuals. So I don't particularly like doing the late tulips. I like those mid ones. So roughly for us, that's like middle of March, and then they are done by April. They can come out, and then the summer annuals can go in. The alliums are going to be a late bloomer, but that is totally fine because this year I'm not going to be planting anything down between these. Last year I did the Wedgwood Blue Angelonia, and they were stunning, but my boxwoods and my hydrangeas have grown enough, and then next year they're really going to grow, and I'm not going to need anything between them. So that is the plan. Now, once we get the bulbs in the ground, like I said, 4 per hole, just covering them up, no big deal, easy peasy, done with that. And then we're going to come back through with the mulch, and we're going to mulch those 4 beds, the raised beds here, and then the very back bed of the glitters and glows. That is, we call it's the glitters and glows viburnum that are in here, and they are beautiful viburnums that they are deciduous. They're holding on to their leaves quite lovely so far here in late December, but these will grow to be about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. So in the meantime, while we're waiting on them to hit maturity, we're using annuals between them. This past summer, we used the Diamond Frost Euphorbia, and it was beautiful. Now we're going to use those tulips here in the spring. So we've got 3 holes between each of the viburnums. We're not going to do the edges right here just because I'm learning that not to get too close to the grass, because when Chandler comes through to cut the grass, maintain the edges, it just does better if we don't have plants obviously right there on the edge of the grass. So we've got 3 holes between each one. So what we're going to do is just work as a team and knock this out. Like I said, Jerry's on the auger. It makes very quick work of doing massive number of holes in a short amount of time. We're using the 9-inch because it's the biggest. We can put multiple bulbs in there and it just works really well. The tulips go about 6 inches down, which is really about what that flighting is. And so as long as he knows to go and kind of go down to that flighting, then his hole is good. So he goes through and we'll do a row, and then the next row he window panes between those. So I'm going to get off so I can be of help, and we're going to get these tulips in the ground. Ta-da! The signature garden is done, and we have made massive progress on getting this sweet garden that's really just celebrated its first year. She has made major strides here in the past couple of days. So a total of 2,000 Beaujolais tulip blend has been planted. It is going to be absolutely stunning come mid-March. If you're in the area, you need to come by, because this is not the only place we have spring flowering bulbs. They are everywhere. And fun little thing, Color Blends actually contacted me and they're like, hey, if it's okay, we'd like to send you some more bulbs that would be great for your zone. And I'm like, yes, please. So we're going to have some more bulbs coming that are going to be great. There was a lot of like daffodils, jonquils in there that will be really great perennial bulbs for us here in the South. So I think I'm going to be adding them to the outline areas of the signature garden. Let's recap here right quick and take a look at everybody. So all the raised beds and the 4 interior annual beds have been mulched. Everybody has been mulched. The only thing that has not received fresh mulch is our 4 outlying beds here, these 4 that have the perennials and the shrubs in it. And I'll come back and explain why they are not done. They're going to be done, they're just not done at this point. But to give you just an overview and looking at all of those, doesn't it just look neat and tidy? I want things neat and tidy, and this just is screaming neat and tidy, minus the 4 outside beds. But I'm focusing on what looks amazing, and I am so stinking excited. So we were able to get, I was shooting for 50 holes because that's what I had. I was thinking 50 holes because we had 250 bulbs, so that'd be 5 per hole. Jerry ended up with 69 holes per bed, so that roughly was like almost 4. So we had a little bit left over, so roughly there's about 69 holes per bed with 4 bulbs per hole. So I will do math, and so I'm always making notes. So when I'm planting this year, I make notes for next year, and I keep a notes app in my phone, and it's like fall bulb order for 2025. So I'm already making notes on things. So if there's 69 holes, which is nice and tight, which is what I like, but if I needed 5 bulbs per hole, that works out, I think, was 345 bulbs. So we're about 100 bulbs short per bed. So next year I will adjust accordingly. So there you go. So everything nice and neat and tidy. Got that Daddy Pete soil conditioner on there nice and thick. It will make a huge difference, y'all. Insulating the beds, insulating those tulips, and keeping the weeds out. Huge big deal is because I don't have time to sit out here and weed, y'all. And what we weed is we weed by hand, because when you have beds like this and you've got plants all in there, that's really the only way to do it. So when you lay down that thick mulch, it keeps those weeds at bay. And then look at the glitters and glows bed. Oh, so nice. So remember, we had 3 holes between each glitters and glows. Got those tulips in there. There's 4 per in those holes as well. And then, of course, having the fresh mulch as well. I think we went through, 4 pallets of Daddy Pete. And so it is a lot to go through, but it pays off in the long run, y'all. I know it's a big deal, and I know it's time consuming, I know it's expense consuming, but it makes a massive difference in your garden if you can keep a nice layer of mulch and or compost in that garden. Speaking of, just to prove my point, so the 4 outside beds, and the sun, of course, is not really being our friend right now. I had come through and weeded all of these beds. I think it was probably in October when I did it. And when I was in here, I told Jerry, I was like, honey, there is not hardly any organic matter in here. It has all washed away. It has been a rough year with all of the floods and the rains, and so much of this got washed away. And can you see just the thousands of weeds that are in here? It is a problem. So what I need to do with these beds is, one, it is time to come in here and clean up all those perennials. So this was, I think, either an Amsonia or a Baptisia. I can't remember right now. It needs to be cut back. The Artemisia can be cut back. So lots of trimming can happen right now. And those shrubs that need to be trimmed could be trimmed, like my hibiscuses, they can be trimmed. So all of these 4 beds that have the perennials and the shrubs in them, we're going to trim back those perennials. That could be trimmed back. Any shrubs, which I don't know that there's really any shrubs in here that need to be pruned yet. That we typically do all of our pruning with those in late winter. And so then we're going to come back and put a nice thick layer of our compost blend, and then on top of that, we're going to put the Daddy Pete. So we'll do that after, it'll honestly be like after the new year that we do that, but it will make a huge difference. The plants will be so much happier, right? Because adding that organic matter, it feeds them, and then to get the weeds out so there's no competition for all that good nutrients will make a huge difference. Plus, it will make everything look neat and tidy. So that is the name of the game. But very, very excited. We feel very accomplished to get all of this done today, and just could not do it without our amazing team. I tell you, as Debbie said, many hands make light work. So incredibly grateful for our team here at Creekside. They are the absolute best, and we are blessed to have them. And of course, Fluff here, she was our constant little cheerleader and encourager, and going from everybody to get all the hugs and the loves and all the pets. So y'all have an amazing day. If you're in the area in mid-March, you need to come see us because it is going to be absolutely gorgeous. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.